What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a deck centered around Electrode-GX from Celestial Storm. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, and let's do more cool stuff for you guys. And if you are new to the channel, please feel free to check out the TTM Discord that will be linked in the description below. Here at TTM, we are a collaborative channel, so there is more than just the Pokemon TCG content, which is why you clicked on this video. We also have a lot of draft format content as well, and our Discord server reflects that, where we have channels for TCG draft format and Smogon. But anyway, onto the deck. Like I said, this is centered around Electrode-GX, and this was the deck that Azul Garcia Griego used in, I don't remember exactly what tournament it was. It was passed to me by one of my awesome friends in the Discord server, so big shout outs to, it was probably Facepalm Tree, let's be real. He's always passing me stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is a deck that Azul used to apparently a pretty good amount of success, so it is a competitive deck and is a very, very cool one. And before I get into what the numbers of the cards and why, the question of the day: what other decks do you think Electrode-GX would work in? And that could be anywhere. Like, the type of answers I'm looking for are anything from like just a deck that likes to spam energy, like it could work in a Keldeo EX deck where you just throw a bunch of energy on board. Same thing with like Genesect. Ooh, a Genesect Electrode-GX and a Venusaur deck where you explode Electrode and then essentially get like 10 grass energy on the board all at once. That'd be pretty nifty. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So do you think it'd work best on a deck where you use Electrode to get a ton of energy on the board for a single attacker? Do you think it's better on decks like Xerneas, where you try to attack based on the amount of energy that's on board? Or do you think it would do best in a toolbox-like deck, where you're running things like Rainbow Energy, Counter Energy, Unit Energies, different stuff, to where you use Electrode to blow itself up and then power up whatever whatever Mon is a good matchup? Like, you don't use, obviously, the Mons that don't have a good matchup against your opponent's deck, and you power up the Mons that do. So, in my opinion, I think that the best way to use Electrode is the way that Azul is using it. Just use it to blow up and get a ton of energy on board, but spread the energy around to where your attackers can't just, like, go down in one hit. Like, they can't just take out one thing and then suddenly your attacking power is just completely gone. I think the best way to use Electrode is the way he's doing it, by spreading the energy around, getting a ton of energy on board. That being said, I think the most fun way to use Electrode would be in a toolbox type deck, because I've done that before with Electrode Prime, where I just used a crapload of different Mons. I used like Groudon EX, Kyogre EX, Entei EX, just a ton of different Mons, and just looked at the matchup and been like, what matchup is this? What type are they weak to? Okay, I'm going to use that Mon. So, I mean, in terms of fun, I think that Electrode Prime works best in a toolbox deck, but in terms of competitiveness, I really like what Azul did with Electrode Prime, and I'm very excited to show this deck off for you guys. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, what type of deck do you think Electrode-GX would work best in? But onto the deck, like I said, centered around Electrode Prime, and the combination with Xerneas BREAK. Xerneas BREAK has the Life Stream attack. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon, so you already see the synergy there. Electrode blows itself up, gets 5 energy out of the discard pile, and you just attach it all over. There's going to be some combination of like DCEs and Counter Energy. The synergy with Counter Energy is very, very nice, because Electrode knocks itself out, which instantly activates Counter Energy. If you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, and if this card is attached to a Pokemon that isn't a Pokemon GX or EX, this card provides every type of energy, but only 2 energy at a time. So Electrode knocks itself out, you're down 2 prizes, suddenly Counter Energy is active, and that's 2 more energy that you have on the board. It instantly powers up a Xerneas BREAK, that type of thing. So it's a very, very, very cool combination, and it's been very, very fun to use. This is like kind of the ultimate comeback deck I've noticed. Like, you never really pull ahead early on. It's always okay, my opponent has taken a prize or 2, I'm going to blow up Electrode, give him like 2 more prizes, I'm going to end him, and then my Xerneas are going to absolutely go to town as he tries to take out single prize attackers, and hopefully I'm able to make the comeback in that amount of time to be able to win the game. But as for the numbers of mons, we have a single copy of Oranguru for the Instruct ability, just be able to draw extra cards, extend your turns a little bit more, that type of thing. Also, we're not as hurt by end late game. 4-3 of Xerneas and Xerneas Break. We're running the Geomancy Xerneas because, I mean, you need it in order to accelerate more energy onto your bench with the Geomancy. Really, what this deck kind of does, and what I'm noticing that I tend to do when I'm using this deck, is I put a Xerneas up, and I just Geomancy until I die, and then once I die, that's when I kind of flip the switch on blowing up Electrode as well. So my opponent has essentially taken 3 prizes before I've really done anything, but by that time, the goal is to have my board set up to the point where it's just like, okay, you have 3 prizes, but okay, I knock out your GX, 2 prizes there, you knock out my Xerneas, 1 prize, I knock out your GX, 2 prizes. So basically you end up winning the prize trade because Xerneas Break is a single prize attacker. So that's why there is 4-3 of those guys, and you just Geomancy until you die pretty much. 2-2 of Voltorb and Electrode. Only 2 because, let's be real, you don't want to blow up more than 1 Electrode per game because, I mean, it's kind of sort of a GX Pokemon, which is really something you don't want to have to do. Like, blowing up Electrode is not really something that you like to do, just because, I mean, it's 2 prizes. It's giving your opponent a free 2 prizes without them having to knock out anything, so you really only want to use 1 Electrode GX in order to knock it out. If I say Electrode Prime, I probably will. I apologize in advance. I'm just so used to using that deck, and I haven't seen the Electrode GX as much as the Electrode Prime, so yeah, I apologize in advance. And then we have 2 Lele, because Lele into Brigette is the ideal start for this deck. Now, on to the item cards. We have 4 Acro Bike, just kind of a way of going through the deck, getting energy in the discard pile, and quite frankly, the most difficult part of this deck is getting 5 energy in the discard pile to where you can utilize Electrode to its fullest extent. I know that that might sound weird as you're running 16 energy, you're running 4 Sycamores, 4 Acro Bike, 4 Ultra Ball. Like, a Xerneas with an energy will get knocked out. So, I mean, that might sound very weird, but that's actually something that I've noticed. So, Acro Bike lets you go through your deck, throw stuff into the discard pile, get energies in there very early on, and yeah, just kind of help you get to the cards you want quicker while throwing cards that you also want in the discard pile into the discard pile. 2 Evosodas because Voltorb and Xerneas both really like them, and also it's just a way to search out your evolutions in the deck. 2 Rescue Stretcher as our methods of recursion, because again, we like energy in the discard pile for Electrode, and honestly, like, you're really not gonna be in a point at the end of the game where you're like, oh, I really need another fairy, or very rarely you will be. So you don't really need energy recursion, as Electrode is really all that you really need and all that you really will want in the majority of matches. So Rescue Stretcher allows you to just grab the Xerneas Break that got knocked out, and reuse those guys. 4 Ultra Balls, guaranteed to get the mons that we want when we want them, and discard our energy. 3 Fairy Garden, so that we do have free retreat on all of our mons, also to counter Parallel City, which can be annoying otherwise. And then as for the supporters, 2 Brigette, because Lele into Brigette is the ideal start for this deck. And then normally you would see a 4-3-3-3 line from me in terms of the Cynthia, Guzma, and Sycamore, but in this deck, you want to discard. Like, you want to discard early, and you want to discard often. So that's why there's more Sycamore than anything else, but at the same time, N is still insanely strong for, like, when you knock out your Electrode, you get the energy on board, your opponent is down to, like, 2 or 3 prizes, and then you end them. Like, being able to knock out an Electrode into an N is an insanely strong situation, because your opponent is not able to take advantage of the 2 prize cards that you gave them, even though you gave them to them on your turn. So N is still very strong, and then Cynthia, I mean, Cynthia is just Cynthia. Like, Cynthia's amazing. Be able to shuffle, draw 6, just nice and consistent. And then the 3 Guzma for the ability to bring up mons. And then as for the energy, you have the 8 Fairy Energy because of Geomancy, just get those things on the board. And then 4-4 of DCE and Counter Energy, so that when Electrode does blow itself up, we can get more than just the 5 energy that Electrode says on the card. I mean, Electrode says get 5 energy cards. Well, those 5 energy cards can essentially turn into like 10 energy at the absolute, like, optimized situation, it can turn into 10 energy. So yeah, that is pretty straightforward in terms of the deck, but let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against a Grand Fantasia 3 with a Steel and Psychic deck, so yeah, this is not looking good if Steel is the first deck we face up against because of, you know, the whole weakness thing and it's easier to knock out Xerneas. But on the bright side, we start off with, honestly, probably the best hand you could want. Like, this is incredible. Wow, I mean, I get a Voltorb, I get an Oranguru, I'm going to get a Brigette for 3 Xerneases, Xernei, I don't know. Gonna grab 3 of the Fairy type Legendary, and I even try into 1 as well, so can I get 2 more? Well, there's 2 more, and the 4th one is prized, but otherwise I would have just, I mean, that would have just been amazing. Like, I could not have asked for much more in that situation. Let's go ahead and Acro Bike, see what we can get. Let's get the Ultra Ball, because that might allow me to discard something next turn. And do I want to play it? Yes, because I have the Oranguru for an energy. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and grab a Xerneas. And did I say Oranguru for another energy? Oranguru for an extra card in my hand. And then maybe that'll be an energy. No, I was hoping to Oranguru for another energy, but unfortunately that did not happen. Sad time for us. But we see the Metal Frying Pan onto the Magnemite and a Metal Energy. Well, he just passes. So this has potential. This really has potential. So I get the Xerneas. If I can get an Electrode, and a couple more energy, I think I win. Crap, I don't have a way to discard. Wait, will that be enough? Yeah, because Counter Energy will give me the energy to Life Stream. I think I might be able to win, actually, already. Because I just go ahead and Evosoda into Electrode, play the Counter Energy onto my Xerneas Break, and then I'm going to evolve the other one just because, like, in case I calced wrong. Because I think at this point I should be good. Let's just go ahead and put this... on the Xerneas Break. Because I don't think Lifestream will knock him out, but maybe Rainbow Spear actually I think will be. Because assuming... Because I don't think... Yeah, because Metal Frying Pan, I don't think we'll be able to save him. How much? So 60, and then does minus 30, so I just need to do 90. Yep, Rainbow Spear will do that, and we are actually able to take this first game immediately. That was kind of awesome. I mean, unfortunately, my opponent wasn't able to get anything, but I mean, that just shows you turn 2, able to blow up an Electrode, get energy on the field. I mean, to be fair, if I just had a single Counter Energy or a single energy first turn, wouldn't necessarily have needed the Electrode, but I guess I would have needed it to activate the Counter Energy, but that's beside the point. We are able to take the win right there, and, yeah, able to take down a metal deck in like 2 turns. But yeah, obviously that's not going to be it. Let's go ahead and try to find another one with this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one against Mike 7910. With a, I didn't even see what it was. It was like a Fire and Psychic deck, I'm assuming. I was just kind of spacing out at the moment. But we do get to go for the coin flip, and unfortunately we do not win it. Kind of sad right there, but on the bright side, I do start off with a pretty solid hand. I mean, I get a Voltorb, but that's not the greatest for this situation, just because, I mean, Voltorb, I will have to attach an energy. Like, yeah, it does have that free retreat, but I still have to attach an energy in order to be able to retreat, so that means that I'm not going to be able to pull off a turn 1 Geomancy. He does just play Lele and pass. Well, after attaching energy, that is. But I'm going to go ahead. I could go aggro, but I think the way to go right now is to just play it conservatively. Do I want to play the DC onto Oranguru? Yeah, I do. And then let's just end the turn right there. Just get the energy on board. I could have saved it for next turn, but I'd rather just... I don't know. I'd rather find other ways of discarding energy rather than just not attaching. And then, I don't know. I just feel like always using your attachment for the turn is the better situation. He's going to Wishful Baton onto his Lele. Does he just have like a handful of energy? Because I'm thinking that unfortunately that might be the situation. What's he going to Guzma? He's going to Guzma up the Oranguru. which actually is fine because, I mean, this way I am able to retreat out into a Xerneas, assuming I get a Fairy Energy off of this. And I do, which is great, so let's go ahead and Ultra Ball, get rid of Fairy Energy and the DCE for an Electrode, because I really don't need a Xerneas Break yet. Like, I just need the Xerneas to be able to Geomancy this turn. So let's grab the Electrode, play that down, and play the energy, or actually retreat into the Xerneas, but I mean, I'm playing the energy at any point. But I mean, like, yeah, that's why I wanted to play the energy down, so I'm not just wasting a turn. So let's go ahead and actually, crap, I forgot to Oranguru. But either way, we are able to get a couple of energy on board. And hopefully next turn, we can get something going. Yeah, so he's probably just gonna, okay, so he hasn't drawn into like anything right now. Like, he's just attached to Lele and then attack. So I mean, like, that's good with me. If I get the right stuff, then I think I will be able to actually, yeah, if I get the right stuff, I think I will be actually able to pull off this win. So let's go ahead and evolve into a Xerneas Break. Let's instruct, hopefully draw into an energy. Please, yes, that works. That really, really works. And there we go. So let's energy up the active. Do I have enough to win the game at this point? Let's extra energy. Yeah, I definitely have enough. I 100% have enough. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and put those, I think, put all those on board. That should be sufficient because there's 3 on the active Xerneas, 3 on the bench Xerneas, 4 on the Oranguru. That is 10 and 11. So yeah, this should be more than enough. So we are able to win this game. Unfortunately, yeah, that we weren't able to, I don't know. What was I trying to say? I'm losing my mind. Unfortunately, my opponent was not able to get anything going, but we definitely did, so we were able to pull off the victory in that. So, I mean, it was, like, similar-ish to the first game, somewhat, kind of, sort of. But, I mean, hey, we knocked out a GX because Electrode blew up and got, like, 11 energy on the board by turn 3. So that showed off what this deck can do, but that was not a particularly good game because my opponent just drew nothing. So let's go ahead and try to find another one with this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one against Zaconix with a, what was that, like a Psychic, Metal, Fire, and there was another thing in there somewhere. I'm just going to say Fairy. It probably wasn't Fairy, but for the fun of it, we'll just go ahead and say that. But it looks like we are up against another Metal deck, which is unfortunate. On the bright side, I start off with some very solid stuff, because what I can do... Yeah, because I can bridge it turn 1 and get an energy in the discard pile. So this is actually looking pretty great. So let's get rid of the Ultra Ball and the Fairy Energy so that I can grab a, because I want to keep the Guzma. I want to keep the Guzma as opposed to the other Ultra Ball, just because, I mean, I do have more Ultra Balls and I have Evosodas, so I have more ways of, like, acting as an Ultra Ball than I do of Guzma, and especially because I think Guzma will be very, very important in this game. Let's just go ahead and grab 2 Xerneas, and oops, that was, dang it, I let go of the mouse too early. I was trying to put it on the active, because, I mean, I wanted to get the energy onto the active, that way I could Geomancy this coming turn, but I released the mouse too soon. I mean, the wireless mouses, you get what you pay for. Well, cheap wireless mouses, I should say. There are some very, very good wireless mouses out there. But cheap wireless mouses, you get what you pay for. And I might have a chance to win this game. So I need to get an Ultra Ball and a DCE in this coming hand, and I think I can win the game, maybe. Or a Counter Energy. And I get neither. Wow. And I don't even get a Fairy Energy, so I can't even... Ah, that sucks. I can't even go for a Geomancy this turn. Man, so yeah, not grabbing the mouse that first turn, like unclicking too early is really hurting me. My opponent is going to attach an energy to the Cosmog and switch into Beldum. That's fine. I mean, my opponent isn't getting anything going either, so that's pretty solid for me. Let's go ahead and Evosoda for a Xerneas Break. Let's let's just go ahead and play it onto this one, because, I mean, I'm just hoping that I draw into a Fairy Energy so that I can play that, so that I can start Geomancing, and I luckily do. So let's go ahead and play the Xerneas down. Yeah, let's do that. Fairy Energy up the active, and then let's just Geomancy. I'm not going to Electrode just yet, just because, I mean, there's no reason to. Like, Electrode, I want to blow it up when I have the Pokemon in the discard pile, or Pokemon in the discard pile, when I have the energy in the discard pile to make it work, and to make it work to its most effective, because I think you can actually blow it up when there's no energy in the discard pile, and it's just like, yay, 2 free prizes for my opponent. I love giving free prizes. But regardless, my opponent is finally going to start getting something going. I mean, that first turn frustrated me. The lack of ability to get anything going. Just because, I mean, I dropped the energy way too early. I unclicked way too early. And yeah, then that really did end up costing me. I didn't think it would, but it really did, because that costed me a turn of getting energy on the board. So, oof. Yeah, this is not looking particularly good. Because my opponent is going to Lele for a Sycamore. And yeah, now they're going to be able to get a fresh hand. Like, they might be able to get like if they can get like a Metagross and a Solgaleo, then I might just cry, because then there's not going to be a whole lot I can do at this point. Luckily with the N, I should be able to get, I mean, luckily with the N, my opponent now has a hand, so N isn't just a dead card. I can play it without being like, oh my gosh, I'm going to give my opponent the chance to beat me. I mean, yeah, we'll give him a new hand, but at the same time, it's like, eh. It's like kind of sort of there. He's going to go ahead and grab not the Solgaleo GX, just a regular Solgaleo with Fangs of the Sun, I believe is its attack. Going to be able to one-shot me, and oh boy, is Steelworker going to put his Steel Arrow attack, or Shining Arrow? And no, not quite. Luckily, I was thinking that it was like do 60 damage, not do 50 damage. But ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's grab the Ultra Ball. I mean, it gets rid of the Sycamore, so I mean it kind of did the same thing, to where I can grab another Xerneas Break and hopefully get this thing going. And this is, how do I want to do this? I don't think I want to end, actually, because my opponent has a hand of 2 cards. Like, that is not something I want to do. And okay, yeah, there's still 8 energy left in the deck. Like, come on now. But let's go ahead and Xerneas, and then Cynthia, because again, don't want to give my opponent a new hand. And there's all my frickin' energy as soon as I'm not able to discard it. But let's Counter Energy up my Xerneas, and then just Geomancy for 1 final energy. It really doesn't, like, matter at this point, but, man, where was all this energy when I had, like, the Sycamores and stuff like that? It's only once I don't get the Sycamores anymore that I'm drawing into all of my energy, and yeah, I mean, that's something that definitely can happen with this deck. Like, the last third of your deck will have 8 to 10 energy in it, and that's just, yeah, that's just not good. Very not good. Oh, we do see the Metagross GX, and I don't even have an N at this point, because I mean, I drew into an atrocious hand. Like, this hand is awful. I am not going to be able to disrupt the Algorithm GX at all. I mean, unless I top deck an N. Unless I top deck an N, I'm not going to be able to, yeah, I'm not going to be able to Algorithm, or disrupt the Algorithm, so he is going to be able to keep all those cards, and man, that's just, this game is just full of unfortunate hand draws on my part. It's just like, no energy, no energy, no energy. Okay, you don't need energy anymore. All the energy. There you go. But yeah, I'm just praying for a top deck of an N or a top deck of a Sycamore. Either of those is fantastic for me. Because if I can get either of those, then I will be able to one-shot this Metagross. And we'll be in a great spot. But anything else, it's just, because I mean, I can't even, like, knock out my Electrode and then Oranguru for more cards. Like, I just have a hand that's unplayable at this point. Because of, frickin' Brigette. But anyway, we get, okay, Acro Bike, Sycamore or N. Sycamore or N. Seriously? Really? Not even throwing an energy in the discard pile, that's all you got for me? Oh boy. That's not fun. But right now I only have 9 energy on board, so theoretically, actually I can't even knock out a Lele because I don't have the sufficient fairy energy on my Xerneas breaks. So yeah, I think I'm just going to yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that. Like Guzma, Electrode, I want to wait. Electrode, I definitely want to wait, just because that's going to be. I want to wait until my Xerneas gets knocked out, so that I can have the ability, to get more energy onto the field, activate more counter energies, and hopefully end in the process. So yeah, the max elixir. I mean, like I didn't even see if he hit it, but he does get an Alolan Marowak. Actually, probably hit it considering that Cosmog is powered up with 2 energy. Sorry, I was looking at my board and counting the amount of energy, trying to figure out what I can do with Electrode so that I can knock out a Metagross in 1 hit. But if he gets 2 Solgaleo, this is going to be bad. He Giga Hammers. Is it time? Is it time to pull out the? Is it time to pull out the Electrode? Because I think it might be. Okay, Acro Bike, give me something good. That works. That very much works. I think this is where I start to. How many energy am I gonna get? I'm only gonna get 4. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be enough to knock out a Metagross with the. Yeah, with the counter energy, that should be enough to knock out his Metagross. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Then let's extra energy bomb, get all 3 of these energy, and yeah, this is barely going to be enough to knock out the Metagross. But on the bright side, we are knocking it out, and we are getting a bunch of energy on board. So let's go ahead and power up Oranguru fully, just in case I want to like Psychic or something, and then power up the Xerneas that isn't quite a Xerneas break just yet. Just so I mean, like I have 3, 3, 3, and 3. All over the board, and then like I was talking about in the team build, really, there's Ultra Ball and all my DCEs. Like, screw this. But we do get another Xerneas break, and now I'm going to be able to knock out this Metagross with a Life Stream, 280 damage. So, all right, this is where we turn it on, and this is where we try to start getting things going. I get an Ultra Ball, which I can work with. Hopefully the end put him in a bad spot, because if he evolves into Solgaleo, there goes 3 energy. Okay, I'll actually still be able to knock these guys out. He's gonna Fangs of the Sun, and then if he knocks me out, and then I replace the 3 energy with the DCE, then that'll be 240, and I just have to try to make sure that I'm not getting screwed over by all the energy that I'm losing in the process. So, knocks out my Xerneas, takes a prize. I knock out this Solgaleo, and then I take a prize. He knocks me out, then I still have another Xerneas that he has to deal with that he can't just Solgaleo for. So let's DCE on to the Lele. Ultra Ball, get rid of the Brigette and the regular Fairy. I really don't think I'm going to need the regular Fairy at this point, just to see what's in the deck, thin out the deck just a little bit, and then let's Life Stream, knock out this Solgaleo, 260. And I think we're starting to get to the point. Yeah, we might be able to win this. So he's going to promote the Alolan Marowak. Limbo, you can just put 2 basic energy cards, that's fine. Still a prize for me, and all I have to do is knock out a single Pokemon and a Tapu Lele to win the game at this point. Evosoda is probably going to get a... No, it did not get a Metang. So that is great news for me. Field Blower is going to get rid of my Fairy Garden. That is fine, because I mean I have sufficient energy on board anyway. And then he is going to Limbo, put 2 energy onto the Lele, and force my hand. So what I think I'm going to do... Solgaleo is the only thing that can knock me out in 1 hit at this point. Lele, I could bring it up and then just be a non-GX knockout away from winning the game. I don't want to load up my Lele too much just because his Lele could be a problem. And I think I'm going to want to attack his Solgaleo. Yeah, I think I'm going to want to attack his Solgaleo because that's the only thing that can one-shot me at this point. I mean, Lele needs another energy in order to be one-shot, and the more energy that's on Lele, the less energy that's on... or the less energy that's being put on, like, a Beldum or a Metagross or something like that. So let's just go ahead and bring up the Solgaleo and Lifestream, knock that thing out. That's the only thing that can one-shot my Xerneas, and all I need at this point is another Guzma to win the game, considering how thin my deck is. And the fact that he's not going to be able to one-shot my Xerneas at this point. I mean, okay, so he either has to bring up the Lele and knock out my Xerneas, in which case I immediately respond with a knockout. Or he has to he has to power up non-EX or GX attackers to where I can just knock out the Marowak. Like, if he starts powering up the Beldum, then I can just knock out the Marowak, and eventually he has to go something to where I would just probably be able to knock it out with another Xerneas, because, I mean, he has to deal with 2 Xerneas breaks at this point. Yeah, my opponent does just go ahead and forfeit. We were able to actually do exactly what I was talking about, the type of comeback where Geomancy till I die, then I Electrode, then I N, and then hopefully by then I have a big enough board to where my opponent is not able to overcome all of these Xerneas breaks. So, yeah, that is going to be the deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.